I kind of look at this not as an internship, but how many students can actually say they got to work on some type of soap opera or movie set. They don't get the first real hand of what it's like to have to deal with people and their schedules and shooting around and shooting till 5 a.m. But you get to learn more of the behind the scenes of what's going on. They have more of a grasp of what it's like. It's going to be something that once it's done, we're all going to look back and we're going to say, wow, I'm really glad I did this. It was a lot of hard times. It was frustrating. There was points where I just wanted to quit, but we're going to have a finished product that we're going to have something to show for. And I think that's important, that we can stick in our portfolios and say, hey, look what I did when I was in college, and not too many people get to say that.
You're getting a huge education out of it, because you're going to watch a soap opera on TV, I will, and I'm going to say, oh, you know, that must have been really hard to do that scene, because I can sort of relate to that. Or when you watch a movie and you wonder, I wonder how many takes it took for that actor to make them cry the way they did, or to get them to act the way they did. And you know, you hear crazy things of like when Kubrick was doing a movie, they had to do 70 takes just for one shot or scene or whatever, and that's just absolutely chaos. And you know, so you can sort of relate. You know, you can sort of feel for an actor's or a director or producer's pain when they're going through a movie and they talk about budgets. And you know, they're worried about premieres and making the money and making it big, because all that stuff counts.
TV is a lot different from theater. I've done a lot of theater stuff, and I'd never done anything with TV before. Since I want to go into TV, I mean, this is good to see what it's going to be like.
The thing that I learned like right off the bat, like my first night, there was a party scene and everybody dances to no music. Like you always see a party on TV and it's like loud, and there's all these people and you hear the music, but in reality, when they were filming that, there is no music and those people are dancing to nothing.
This is what they call acting. This is what they call dancing without music. Yeah, all right.
That's one of the things I learned. There's a whole bunch of things that go on behind the scenes to make something happen that you never think about when you're watching the final product. And that in itself is kind of hard, because for some people it's hard to find a sense of rhythm with music, and without it, it's even harder. So that's something I never knew.
CUTV just in general, and having that hands-on experience is so valuable, and I don't think people really realize that until they get in the mix. And I often think to myself, without being involved with the television station or that hands-on experience, just going to class, where I'd be at. And I really don't think I'd be half of where I am now, as far as what I want to do, the decisions, the confidence level of how I know, you know, maybe, you know, how to operate or know even the jargon that's used on the set. So certainly having that experience of being in it, I know that's how I learn the best. And but it's been an experience I know I'll never forget, as much as we all like to complain or want to get out of here. And I know it's definitely something I'm never going to forget.
Even though I've directed some stuff, I've learned a lot from this, especially with lighting. Having, you know, someone else direct it's a lot more focusing on how you're going to portray your character, and hopefully that it's, you know, good enough. And maybe a little bit nervous at first, because you're taking direction from somebody else, and you might feel that you think you should say a line some way, and he might feel it should be said another way, and he has different direction than you think you should go. You really have to know your lines and know you're blocking well, and just you have to be believable.
The educational benefits that this production has for students is limitless. You know, in this business, there's no greater teacher than experience. No textbook can teach you how to deal with problems. I mean, textbooks can teach you how to work a camera, but you really don't get the feeling of working a camera until you run it, until you get behind it. There is no greater substitution for actually working on a production such as this. There's no greater teacher than having something like this told as a story, and having your chance to experience as an actor, as a producer, as a director. Even I myself, I'm still learning. I have to deal with problems every single day in terms of scheduling these actors, scheduling our crew to work on this production. Our actors get the chance to act in front of the camera. They deal with what they call marks, hitting your mark, standing in your light, making sure you hit the light the same way. I mean, There are certain scenes where, you know, actors will stand in the shadow and they move a half foot and the light will come across their face, and that tells a story in itself. And unless you have the experience to deal with something like little things like mark or in the light or hitting the light right or lighting, you'll not know what you're doing when you leave here. And CUTV and this production is giving this chance to the students, and it's a remarkable opportunity for them to gain not only valuable insight on what the business is really like, but a real working environment where they can put that education to use.